What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content daily. First of all, I want to say Happy New Year. It's 2022, and I apologize because I fell off the map for some time. As I had mentioned beforehand, I was going to Chicago for a week. Sorry, I was going to Chicago for the Christmas weekend, and then was going to fly back to Houston, where I'm at, for a couple of days just to live life and do things and get things done, such as videos here, but ended up staying in Chicago the entire week and really just tried to disconnect from everything outside of playing my daily quests, of course. Now, there is so much to catch up on, and I didn't know how to break this down because I literally just got back, got off the plane, came here, and wanted to talk about all of the craziness that has been happening within Splinterlands. And so we'll probably end up doing the 5 biggest takeaways from the town hall sometime tomorrow, hopefully. But I thought the biggest thing that I would want to tackle is this SPS roadmap. So this is more so just how's everybody doing? I hope 2021 was good for you, and I hope 2022 is even better. And now let's talk about SPS. So there was this article came out at such a perfect time. If you spend any time in Discord, you will know, anytime in the Splinterlands Discord, you will know that there is just so much FUD being spread around. And the thing is, I get it. People are frustrated. They're down heavily on their investments. The only thing that I can say is, well, one, this is crypto, but two, the entire crypto market is down right now. And as I have spoken about, or at least written about a little bit on my own Hive blog, and I actually, this is just a quick moment to let you know that I am trying to write more now on Splinter Talk and the Hive blog or engine blog, whatever it is. So feel free to, if you want to do, or if you want to read some more of my writing. Gosh, look at this. I'm already out of practice, just 1 week away. Okay. But as I was saying, there was so much FUD happening, and it was nice to get this from the team. I don't know if all of this Discord FUD or all this Reddit FUD or whatever social media FUD was a reason for them to put it out, but I appreciate the fact that they did, because there's just so much happening in 2022. Now, this is not a hype video. This is not a price prediction. We're going to the moon. This is just, I'm excited about what is to come. What will this do to the price of SPS? I'm not sure. Nobody can say, and anybody who is telling you that the price is going to moon or is going to go to this or that, they are lying to you. I mean, people have asked me before if I think the price will ever go to, like, say $10. And yeah, I think that it could. I'm not saying that it will. I think that it could. And if it does, I think that that could take years, right? Like up until the end of the token distribution, which would be sometime in 2026. So let's actually first focus on this, because at the bottom of the article, I think probably the most important thing that they listed here was a reminder, and they literally said this finally. We also wanted to remind everyone that both the airdrop and distributions to private sale investors will be ending in the coming months. Now, for those who are not familiar, there was a 10-month period in which they were releasing 20 million SPS per month to the private sale investors. Now, these private sale investors, I believe, got it at just under 2 cents, 1.8 pennies per SPS. So even now, they're up a good, clean, 10x plus. And when that gets released every month, that 20 million SPS, that could potentially be a cash out event for them. And this is not I have no judgments on how people like handle their investments. Who wouldn't want to cash out a little bit when you've made a clean 10x, right? So if they're going to do what they're going to do, that's fine. I think it's just prudent for everybody who is investing in this game. And when I say investing, I really mean that to be beyond just your money, right? Like if you're just putting your time into this game, you really want to know where it's going and what could potentially come of it in the future. So that is going to end, I believe. We are now, so if it started in July, that should be coming up in a couple of months. And then the airdrop, which is 33 million tokens per month, is going to end in July of 2022. So that's over 53 million SPS tokens that were being distributed each month. This is why I say that SPS is being given out like candy. And it's funny because there was even a comment on Reddit or on Discord somewhere that I saw, and I was like, this is just perfect. And it was something along the lines of, oh yeah, the cards aren't too expensive right now, especially since we're getting free money with the airdrop, right? And I was just like, okay, that's exactly it, right? Like the fact that people don't view SPS as having one utility at the moment, and then two, like it's like being paid a dividend in a sense for all of the assets that you own. Therefore, people are spending it as though it's like some type of cash for them to use rather than stacking and staking, right? So this was an interesting thing for them to include. Again, I think that the team must be very well aware of the conversations that are happening around their communities. So this is a good thing to add. The thing is, this is exactly what they said was going to happen. So nothing's changed. It's not like the team, bent the rules or they did something different or they caved to pressure. Like this is literally part of the roadmap in terms of here are the number of months, I believe it was 10 months, that the private sale is going to occur. And then we have all been able to see when the airdrop is going to end. And I believe we're coming up to the halfway point of the airdrop soon. So that was a good thing for them to include. And I think if anybody wasn't aware of that before, this is probably the most important point here. Now, combine this with Chaos Legion and the general sale coming up, and just the fact that we are getting flooded with probably the biggest release of an expansion, right? Like Untamed was 1.5 million packs, whereas Chaos Legion is going to be 15 million. So that's 10x the amount of cards that are coming into circulation. And it's very easy to see that like people would be taking their SPS. I am one of those people that has done it several times now, where I'll take some of the SPS that I'm getting airdropped or that I am earning from staking rewards, and I'll use that to buy a card, because I would rather take that than maybe put more money into the game, right? If I don't have that extra money. Or people are just trying to re-diversify. Again, this is not a judgment on how people want to go about it. It's just trying to explain why we are seeing all of this downward pressure on SPS. So will SPS go up in the short term, long term? I don't know. I mean, as I have said, I don't believe that the sell pressure, right, the downward pressure on SPS will finish until the end of the airdrop. So one of the articles that I actually put out, the clickbaity title that I put on it was, are you ready to hold your SPS until July of 2022, right? Because this is the time where I feel like once the airdrop is over, once the private sale is over, people just won't be getting SPS. Like you will actually have to go and buy SPS, or, obviously you can still stake it and get staking rewards, but the more SPS that is staked, the lower the APR. So once that ends, then a ton of the downward sell pressure will be gone. And that doesn't mean to say that SPS can't go up before then. Obviously it can, because what you're battling here is this downward sell pressure of people getting, way too much distributed out at a time versus what is the utility? Is anybody buying this? And what's the reason? Because if it's just being given out freely like candy and people are going to be selling it to buy better things, aka cards, or aka selling SPS to pay for their bills, which I think is awesome actually, then it's really going to be that push and pull. So let's go back to the top here and now talk about the actual use cases for SPS coming forward. Now, what do we know already? What do we know already is that SPS is being used for vouchers. It was used as part of the Chaos Legion release, and it's being very heavily hinted towards being used for Riftwatchers. So vouchers will be this ongoing thing. There will be about 7 million vouchers distributed every single year, according to the ongoing schedule, right? So once these boosted voucher drops end, it'll be about 7.2 million because it's going to be 20,000 airdrops per day. 20,000 vouchers airdropped per day. So that's the use case right now. We don't know what other utility vouchers will have, but one of the things that was talked about, and again, I have to very much stress that until something is written in stone, this is the lesson that we all learned back in December and November. Until something is written in stone, or there's a white paper released, or it's actually fully announced, and even then, right? We need to take all this with a grain of salt. But vouchers could potentially be used to buy other things, or be required to buy other things in game. The one thing that keeps coming out is there's this talk of an airdrop potion. Not 100% on the details of how that would work, but if you wanted to buy an airdrop potion, I believe in the last town hall, it was something along the lines of it would cost a voucher or X percentage of a voucher, right? Because again, these are tokens that can be broken down to, I believe, at least I've seen 3 decimal places on Hive. So it could be something like 0.1 voucher plus the 4 cents or whatever it is, or 4 credits or DEC, whatever else is required, will be needed to get these airdrop potions, for example, right? And that will be the increased ability to open airdrop cards from packs, or get airdrop cards when opening packs. But again, that's all speculation. Nothing has been confirmed yet, but I'm just trying to let you know what are the things that we know for sure SPS is being offered right now, and that is vouchers, and that vouchers are going to have some more or some type of utility outside of just being these pre-sale things. Now, Riftwatchers is being talked about for Q2, so keep in mind, I believe there's going to be 3 million packs released for Riftwatchers, and was that listed here? I don't know if it was on this one. Yeah, so yep, 3 million Riftwatchers boosters. Okay, but I'm getting ahead of myself here. So let's actually go down the way that they wanted to, and then we'll open it up for questions. Okay, so SPS validator nodes. I think people are sleeping on this. If you want to have a voice, I think it's incredibly important to be able to stake your SPS, and then whenever there is a proposal, you will have the ability to vote on it. Now, this isn't like a 1 player, 1 vote. This is a 1 SPS token, 1 vote. Meaning that, yeah, a lot of people are going to look at this and be like, well, the whales are just going to decide where the game goes. True. But decentralization doesn't mean that it's just an equal distribution for everyone. Decentralization just means that everybody has the same access. So you can buy SPS, a token of SPS, to have 1 vote, in the same way that anybody else can buy a token of SPS to have 1 vote, right? So if you view SPS to have any value, and I personally do, in terms of being a part of where this game goes and the direction that it takes, then buying SPS at whatever price, it is whenever you're reading this might be something worth considering, right? So this, I think, is going to be a huge part. And once people see the system working, and of course we have to see it actually work, but once people see the system working of where, the players come out and say, hey, we would love to see this proposal. We want the team to work on such and such next. And then we're going to vote on it. And everybody who has their SPS staked will be able to say yes or no, yay or nay. And if they say yay and the team works on it, it's almost like, oh wow, we really do have some kind of control over where the future of this game goes. So I think people are sleeping on this. I think that this is probably going to be one of the biggest utilities within the game. Again, SPS was created as a governance token, and we are now getting governance features and functions. So that's obviously going to be a big one. Okay, the next two are somewhat combined. So the Foundation Treasury okay, so it currently holds $4 million worth of cryptocurrencies, not including its SPS tokens. What is this going to be used for? This is jointly owned by the staked SPS token holders. And as soon as the SPS governance is released to the community, they'll be able to submit and vote on proposals regarding its use. So all the people saying we should spend more on marketing, well, there's $4 million plus there. And if you can make a proposal on how to spend that money or where the team should focus, go ahead and do it, right? There could be the ability to burn tokens, making SPS much more scarce in a sense, and in that way, not directly, but hopefully correlated in a way to make the price go up, right? Because the maximum amount of SPS there will ever be is 3 billion. So when you start burning some, that would theoretically increase the price of SPS. Or one of the last example that they give here is distributing funds back to token holders. So I don't know in what ratio that would be. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know in what capacity that would be, whether everybody would get maybe like a boosted SPS airdrop at one point based on how much you have staked or how much, well, yeah, back to token holders. So, but again, that's going to be decided on within the context of the game and within the context of the community. So there's just so much cool stuff. Again, this is all tied together, right? Because we're just talking about the validator nodes, and well, the validator nodes are a little bit more technical, but just the SPS governance with the foundation treasury. And now as we get into Riftwatchers, this is probably the biggest bombshell drop. I think 2 weeks ago on the Christmas Eve town hall, Nate mentioned that they were preparing to have Riftwatchers, all like the assets ready, and artwork and all that stuff ready by March. And I was like, what? I thought Riftwatchers was going to come out in December. But as I understood and as I've learned now, it seems like the main expansions or the core expansions, so your Untamed, your Chaos Legion, and upcoming Rebellion, it looks like that is on a yearly cycle. And then in your mid-year cycle, so probably sometime over the summer, or Q2 is what they're saying for Riftwatchers, is when you'll get your mini editions, right? So that came up a lot sooner than I expected. And to add even more onto the bombshell news of that, we didn't only get the number of packs that would be available, we got the price of packs, and then here that they will only be accepting SPS tokens to be purchased. Now, this is very different from DICE, which was the last mini edition. DICE was only DEC only DEC accepted, and was a good way to have a DEC burn, meaning that you drive the value of DEC up. Now, a lot of people, myself included, thought that this would be a good opportunity, as we know that DEC will probably come back down to its peg. That will affect the amount of DEC issued and reduce the overall rewards, which I'm glad the team is aware of and was brought up in the last AMA. But burning DEC to try and drive the value up would be great if it's used with something like Riftwatchers. Now that's being completely taken away from DEC and being given exclusively to SPS. So I hate to be the one that says I told you so. Now I'm not, but if you've been watching my videos, I have not been stacking DEC. I've been stacking SPS because I know that SPS is where the team is focusing on. Now, the interesting thing was that the team mentioned that over in the future, when the airdrop ends next summer, we plan to add additional utility for DEC token and work to structure it in a way that hopefully makes it more stable and a transactional currency for Splitterland. So a lot of people are looking at that and saying they're going to take it off its peg or whatever the case is. That I will leave for another video, because there's so much more to dive into on DEC. I want to stay SPS focused, and at the moment, right now, what they are doing is giving SPS a ton more utility, because if you do not have SPS, right? If you do not have SPS staked, if you do not own SPS, you're not getting it airdropped, or you're not getting staking rewards. In order to buy the Riftwatchers packs when they come out, you will need to buy SPS, which creates upward pressure on the price. Right? So that'll be something interesting to watch as we go along. As I was just talking about, if this comes out sometime in Q2, and that's what they're expecting as of now, of course, you never know with delays, but if this comes out in Q2, keep in mind the airdrop does not end until July, which is technically Q3. So we could have a little push and pull of some upward pressure on the price of SPS to fight back against all of the airdrop, so all of the downward pressure on SPS due to the airdrop and everything else that's going on with it. So this was probably the biggest news for me. And, like I said, this is there's so much more that I want to be able to dive into. So I might be making separate videos that'll focus on each of these announcements exclusively, especially if we get a little bit more details on it. But to tie this back in with the foundation treasury, now keep in mind there's $4 million that is jointly owned by all of the SPS token holders, right? So what they're anticipating is if you're going to sell 3 million Riftwatchers packs at $5 a pop, then accounting for bonus packs that are given out for, large transactions similar to what they have for Chaos Legion right now, it'll mean roughly another $12 million of income that all goes into the SPS Foundation, right? So with DEC was getting burned. SPS doesn't get burned. I mean, we can decide as a community if we want that to be the case in the future. But as of now, the team is not making any money from Riftwatchers. All of that value, which will probably be around $12 million, is going to go into the foundation for all token holders to decide on what they want to do with that money, right? How do we want to best utilize that in order to grow this game, get it out there, improve it, whatever the case is? That is what that $12 million will be available for. So the other things that we know are coming, land expansion. There's so much hype about land, but very few details. So I'll wait to do maybe a more specific thing on land or specific video on land. But I'm excited for it. It's just there's not much in terms of overall details. And then the last thing was there is going to be the ability to stake SPS on other players. I don't know how this will work, but the ability to delegate stake SPS to other accounts, which has been a highly requested feature. So, this will be something where, from my understanding, and this is again very elementary, so please take it with a grain of salt. If you were to stake on another player, a player who is good, who's maybe earning a significant amount of DEC or rewards or a significant amount of their games, I believe you would start to get some of the rewards, because it's almost like you're backing, you're backing different horses on this. So the more they earn, the more you have staked on them. I believe that there's going to be some kind of benefit for them, right? Because then their account technically has more stake, but then you are also getting the rewards of that. Now, keep in mind, SPS rewards, right? Ranked battle rewards is something that is coming as well. Now, we don't know when that'll be, but that is something that I want to make sure I clarify. And I've spoken about it before, but since we're talking and doing somewhat of a deep dive on SPS today, that is not a buy pressure situation. To me, that is a sell pressure situation, because if people are winning SPS, right, that means that they are playing the game and they're not paying for SPS. They are earning it for free, technically, right, or for their efforts within the game. And most people, what do you do if you win something, right? You will either, you can stack it and stake it and hold it, but a lot of people view whatever they earn in this game as potential income for them to either pay their bills or buy more cards, buy land, whatever the case is, right? Now, SPS is unique because, again, I view DEC as a currency, whereas I view SPS as an asset. Now, you will have the ability to not win currency in the game, but you will have the ability to win assets within the game, which I think is pretty cool, right? This is essentially like doing your daily quest or end of season rewards and earning cards for free. Now, the thing is, what do you notice at the end of season? At the end of season, when there is a flood of cards coming in because everybody's opening like 1 billion chests, then the card prices tend to come down. So if you view SPS in the same way, where all of a sudden people are winning SPS for their games, and then you have a lot of folks in other parts of the world or whatever their financial situation is, that, hey, I won 10 SPS, I won 400 SPS today, right? That's $100 or roughly it's 80 to 100 US. I'm going to cash this out because that's going to pay rent this month. You know what I mean? Like this is how I view this. And I think it's important just to keep in mind that like the spectrum of players and where everybody's coming from, if you are getting something for free, it tends to create sell pressure on it. So I'll go ahead and wrap this up here. This ended up being long and a little winding. So I appreciate all of you guys if you hung out with me the entire time. I was just excited to do a video because, as I said, it's been like a week plus 10 days. I haven't been away from here for that long. So I hope you all had a phenomenal holiday. I hope 2022 is going to be amazing for you. I hope it is going to be the best damn year of your life. I hope last year was awesome, and I hope this year is even better and they only continue to improve. I want to just say a genuine thank you again to everybody for being here, being part of this channel, whether you're watching on YouTube, and now I'm uploading these on 3Speak as well. So if you're wherever you're watching this, I just want to say thank you for spending your time with me, for being part of this community, for helping me learn, because I learned so much from you guys as well. And just, yeah, I hope your Splinterlands journey in 2022 is a fruitful one, and I hope you win a ton of games, and I hope you win a ton of money. I hope you get rich. That is, if anybody can tell me that reference, I'll send you some DEC. I hope you get rich. All right, I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one.